Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson. You ready to have some fun? This is what I would call one of my dumb topics. One of the things that, hey Dixie, where are you at? Can you see Dixie? I don't think you can. Um, totally distracted by the dog. But yeah, this is one of my dumb topics. What we're going to talk about is something that I consider to be dumb, but something to think about, I suppose, which is like, how do you define someone as straight, especially when you're talking about guys and dating trans women? Because I mean, I don't know if you're trans or if you're a guy, but there seems to be different areas of thought around if it's straight to date a trans woman. And so when I am dating, I only date straight men, I'll just say that. But when I'm dating, sometimes I encounter this. I encounter people who go, well, the guys you're dating must not be straight. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And second of all, some guys are like, sorry, I'm straight. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a woman. So that's the topic we're going to cover today. It's a little more spicy and juicy, but I think it's worth covering because we should be thinking about, what should we be thinking about? I don't know. What should we be thinking about? This is something I think about sometimes, which is like, how do you define someone who is straight? Because when I am dating, I only date straight guys, but how do I define that, right? And what is the evidence that I have that suggests that they're straight? So it's a sexuality question, I guess. It's something that we can explore today. And if you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more of me. And yeah, I love support. So if you'd like to join my membership and get more videos, you can do that too. Let's start with my own experience. I don't date anyone who is not straight or doesn't identify as straight. I don't even date guys who are bi. And that is a weird thing to say, but I've found that bi guys are a little bit more fluid in their masculinity, and I don't like that. I don't like it because I am going for deep femininity, and I need someone who's straight as a doornail, super masculine, to hold that space for me. And this opens up another question of like, what is femininity, what is masculinity, but I'm not going to go into that today. But very objectively speaking, that's how I date. I date people who identify as straight and aren't looking to date me because of what I have between my pants or underneath my dress. I don't want that, because that to me is a different kind of pursuit and not for me in terms of what I want. So my boyfriend, for example, he never, ever really touched me down there. And he was actually afraid of it because he didn't want to be gay. If that makes sense. It's like he was so afraid of being gay he was not afraid of being gay, but being misread as gay to himself, that for him to touch me downstairs would then somehow make him gay. And like, this is something that I think a lot of guys who haven't processed or worked with trans women think about when they suddenly are approached by a trans woman, which is like, well, whatever you've got between your legs, that makes you in the category of guys, and if I date you, that means I'm dating a guy or that I am gay somehow. And that's kind of like the essence of this thing. It's like, if you look at definition wise, a person who has something between their legs as like if they're straight or gay, that kind of like, that's the situation. But what happens if I suddenly get a vagina and now, like, is it straight? Is it straight enough for you, straight guy? Or is it still not straight? Like, is it like the fact that I was previously under the regime of testosterone? Like, if all other things are met, like I look like a woman, I sound like a woman, I act like a woman, like, what is it that you need? Do I need to have a vagina, or is it more than that? And that is kind of like this weird thing that I feel like you run into. When I said to my friend, I'm on Grindr and I date guys, and he's like, well, you have to look out for monkeypox. And I said, well, why do I have to look out for monkeypox? And he said, well, like guys in the community, they're more like prone to getting monkeypox, which is, through anal sex. But it's like, how am I going to be more prone to getting monkeypox if I'm only dating guys who are straight? So they're not going to be engaging with gay guys. And he was kind of confused by that. And he's like, well, you're on Grindr. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on Grindr because that's where straight guys can find trans girls. And these guys that I date are straight. And I'd say probably like 80% of the guys maybe 90% of the guys, when we get into bed, it's like they don't touch me down there and they're not even interested. And that's its own thing, right? Because I would like some stimulation. I would like some pleasure. I mean, if you're a girl, like, don't you want your partner to also pleasure you and like help you reach an orgasm? Like, wouldn't that be a great thing? It would be great for me. But sometimes, you don't get that, and some people are scared of it, and that's fine. I'd rather have sex with a guy who's straight and that I'm into than I would never have sex with a guy who's gay. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And also, like, I have gone on dates with guys who say they're straight, and then I talk to them and they totally sound gay. And I'm like, are you sure you're not gay? Because you sound gay, and I'm not going to date you because of that. Which, maybe it's my own deep-seated fear or my investment in my own femininity and being a woman. But I won't even date a guy who says that they're straight but sounds like they're gay. It's so dumb. But like, it's important to me because my own experience is paramount to who I am, and a big part of that is my gender and how I'm feeling within my body. I remember when I started out as non-binary and started to transition into being gender fluid, I did date a gay guy once, and it didn't work because he was gay and he also saw me as a gay guy. And like, if someone is seeing you as what you don't want to be seen as, that's just going to create all sorts of friction and disconnect. So there you go. Like, that's kind of like that. I think like a straight guy, and why, like, my experience of dating straight guys is they have no interest in what's down there. So how is it gay for them to just want to date an attractive woman and have sex with them and top them and not even touch the genitals downstairs? Like, they don't want to have anything to do with it. But I think there is a level of transformation that can happen in dating some of these straight guys, because eventually if we keep seeing each other, they're like, how do I pleasure you? I want to pleasure you. And the bridge that I've seen in dating these straight guys is that they're able to make the mental click to not see it as a dick, to not see it as a penis. Like, it's no longer just like a dick. It is a organic vehicle for pleasure that doesn't need to be treated or should not be treated the same way as a dick is. Because, I mean, honestly, hormones and estrogen has completely changed my sensation and experience down there, like completely. So you can't even use it or play with it in the same way that you would with a guy. So, treat it differently. And there's some education that I have to give. Like, here's where it's good in terms of stimulation. Don't really do it like that. That doesn't really work. And my pleasure is fleeting. So it's there and then it disappears. And it's really all about focusing and trying to keep it. Whereas with guys, it's just like pound town, keep going, and everything's good. Let me just do a time check. Where am I? So, this has been my own exploration with straight guys, and what I have seen as straight, like, they don't sound gay. That's actually kind of important. They identify as straight, and they're not seeking me for my genitals. They're seeking me for who I am as a person, or just being attracted to me. Like, that's kind of the fundamentals for me. And some guys just never get past the fact that there's something between my legs, and that's okay. I'll just let them move on. I mean, what's your approach? Like, how do you see someone who is straight, or like how would you define someone as straight? Is it literally just between the genital preference, or is it something more than that? I feel like if I were to think about myself and dating a guy that has a vagina, I feel like there'd be some inner work that I'd have to do there, because I mean, I like to get topped, and I understand that they don't have an organic thing between their legs, and that they have like a cosmic penis in a way. That's what one trans man explained to me. I could try that. I could really go for that if they were masculine and held their masculinity really well, because that's all I'm really seeking in my relationship and my balance. It's like that masculine shape that like holds space for my feminine shape, and that's ultimately what I seek and want in a relationship. There, I'm single at the moment, by the way. So if there's a hot guy watching this, please message me. But yeah, like, what are your thoughts on this? I would love to hear.